Good morning and welcome to my garage. I'm going to do a little series of videos about people's motorcycle garages and what lies behind the doors. But before I kick that off, I think I should probably do my own garage first. So here we are and welcome to my motorcycle garage. So here I am in my garage. A place of relaxation, a place of contemplation, just my cave. It really is my cave. If ever there was a man cave, for me this is it. And this wall here is adorned with memories, US number plates from mainly travels at work, where some of the guys I worked with would give me their US license plates, and various signage from Indian. I had a couple of Indians. I loved the Indian brand. Triumph, even signs that are relating to my Munro climbing that I did, the Scottish mountains. I did all the Munros, completed them last year. Route 66, which I did a couple of years ago. Yeah. And then my little bar sign. As you can see, there's flags on the ceiling. There's Canada, Mongolia, places that I've been. On the bike, Mexico, Colombia, and swinging round, finally Argentina, and the good old USA. And on this side the garage is much more utilitarian. Tools, ladders, bike jackets, etc. Let's have a look at the bikes. I've got to start with Boris. Boris is a 2009 BMW R1200 GS. I've had him since new, so he's 16 years old and he's done 97,000 miles. And some of those 97,000 miles are hard miles. I'm going to do probably a few videos about Boris because I think he deserves it. I'll especially do one when we hit 100,000 miles. And my other bike is quite different. Frank Beattie, in fact his full name. It's a Triumph Bonneville T120. And just it's a lovely retro bike to ride, lovely engine. And again, I'll do a separate walk around with Frank. It's not a big garage, but it works for me. And finally, to my beloved neon Route 66 sign. As I said, we did Route 66 a few years back, and yeah, I just think that finishes off the garage really nicely. So when I'm doing the garage videos with my friends, I'm going to be asking them, basically do a little interview for them, so I'll just fill you in on some of the information that I'd be asking them for. And I think the first thing would be, what got you into biking? In my case, I was at secondary school. I was probably 14 probably, when in rolled a guy, and he was a very cool dude anyway, riding a Puch moped, sports moped that looked like a proper motorcycle. And I'd never seen anything so exciting and cool in my life. Now, no matter what motorbike I would have got, I could never have been as cool as this guy, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get a motorbike at that point. I had no money, I was too young, but I was desperate. From then on in, I was investigating what was available, and I was desperate for a sports moped when I was 16. But unfortunately, again, I had no money. My parents wouldn't help me out with it or approve it. I did finally wear my father down though, and we picked up an old BSA Bantam 175, the D/D14 Bantam. And we fettled with that in the garage and got it running, and that was going to be my bike on my 17th birthday. Unbeknown to them though, the bike made many a journey out of the garage when they were out at work while I was 16, completely illegally of course, but that's how it goes. So it was not a reliable bike, it was not a fancy or fast bike, but it was a bike, and I did love it. I eventually sold it for £100, and yeah, I wish it was still sitting in this garage. I would probably then ask, what bikes have you had throughout your motorcycling history? And in my case, I went from the BSA to a Honda 125cc. I then went to a Yamaha 2-stroke RD200, which kept seizing, so it was called Julius Caesar. I put a sports fairing on it and I think it overheated it, looking back on it now. I then got a very ugly and worn out 504 Honda, which I had for a very short time. I moved on to a rebuilt right off X7 Suzuki 250, one of the super fast 2-stroke 250s that I took with me to the Isle of Man. Again, not reliable. As you can tell, I wasn't top of the range in my bikes. They were all not in great shape. I was not a great money manager. I was not a big earner. I then had basically a bit of a break with the marriage and children, and eventually got an old CX500 Honda, and then again a bit of a break, and I really come back to biking big style after a divorce, and I was 40 years old, and I bought myself a brand new Suzuki Bandit, which was my kind of first really good new quality bike, a 600cc, which was nice. And then I traded it in for a dream bike, which was sitting in the window of a Triumph dealer. It was a Triumph Sprint ST, the 955 one, the blue one. It looked gorgeous, and I had that bike for a while. Again, I'd really made it in my mind. And then I was going to change it for the new Sprint ST when a Belgian friend of mine, persuaded me to try an adventure bike, and I tried the Triumph Tiger, which I thought looked relatively ugly. It was the old 955, and I absolutely loved it and bought it. From there, I traded the 955 in for Boris, who I've had for the last 16 years. During COVID, Boris got stuck out in America, and I managed to fulfill a dream by buying the relaunched Indian brand, buying the Scout, Indian Scout, which I really liked, although it was quite a small bike. It looked too small on me. I'm just touching 6 feet, and I always felt too big for it. I hated looking at pictures of me on the bike. So I pushed the boat out and traded it in for a big 1800cc Chieftain, which was a stunning bike to look at, but the front forward pegs and the weight of it didn't really sit nicely with me for the Scottish roads. It was a very expensive bike to maintain as well, so I moved it on, and in that case I bought Frank Beattie, the Triumph Bonneville. So quite a varied history. Yeah. What was my favourite bike? Ooh, it has to be Boris. Boris has been my favourite bike. We've been through so much together. I did love my Yamaha 200. It was so fast compared to the 125s and the Bantam that I had. And it was that beautiful red, orangey red colour with the Yamaha racing stripes. And I had a white full race fairing on it. I just thought I I was the king of the road racers, but as I said, reliability was very, very poor. I guess of the Indians, I preferred the Indian Scout to ride. It's just it was more nimble, it was more fun. And of the Triumphs, the Tiger, the old 955 Tiger, I mean, I thought it was ugly when I bought it, but I grew to absolutely love it. So, yeah, the usual biker answer. I liked a lot of them. If you could have one dream bike, what would it be? This is difficult. I really, really struggle with it. I mean, I've always fancied an MV Agusta, but they're too sporty for me. I like the Moto Guzzies. You know, I think I'm going to cop out and say Boris has been my dream bike and is my dream bike. And if I retired with that being my last bike, I would feel very satisfied that I've had a good 50-year or hopefully 50-year plus biking career. So I hope you enjoyed that little tour and short interview of myself. As I said, I'm going to do this certainly initially with some friends who have got some interesting machines and interesting stories to tell. So hopefully you'll join me in that journey. So for now, if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe if you want to see some more. Thank you.